A thread by Carlos Osuita. For what the hecko? I see your little code. Donald Trump says what he says so that people like you will think that you've got him now. You've learned nothing from the past 5 years. Dan tweets, what plan? He was recently asked what his plan was if he got reelected. He didn't have one. Feel free to post a link if you know of one. The tweet before yours by Crazy Professor makes the choice of his handle pretty obvious. Don't know if he's a professor, but crazy? Yeah. Before I get started, let me just point out that I absolutely approve of your strategy of insulting people whose votes you need. It's a sure winner. I suggest you ramp it up. The way you win, even more. Trump is not a professional politician. He's also a genuine independent thinker, unlike you. He doesn't lay out symbolic plans for several reasons. One, Trump studied von Moltke the Elder. Quote, no plan of operations extends with any certainty beyond the first contact with the main hostile force. The main hostile force is reality itself. Two, by not revealing his plans, Trump prevents his enemies from sabotaging them. His background is commercial real estate. He hired buyers who pretended to represent other companies when he made his purchases. Three, unlike all of his predecessors, Trump doesn't pretend to be an expert in anything. Therefore, he first needs to talk to experts before making his plans. He learns what's available, and from that, he rearranges things in a way nobody ever thought to do before. Four, Trump knows that the voters have heard it all before. Policy wonks put together ridiculous contraptions that collapse under their own weight. We've all lived through it. Apparently, you prefer failure. Trump's supporters prefer success. And five, Trump must remain Trump. If he becomes what you want, he loses. Trump revolutionized harnessing the power of the private sector. Leftists wanted a repeat of World War II. Guess what happened when the government took over private industry? Unprecedented corruption and some of the worst designs we've ever forced our armed forces to use. The M50 Rising submachine gun. It fell apart when fired, and it didn't function outside of a shooting range. The Marines just threw it away. The reason we adopted it was because the stupid-ass government said we didn't need submachine guns. But the best story of all time is the portable flamethrower. We didn't need flamethrowers. When the war started, we didn't have any. So we went on a crash program and adopted the useless M1. It used a battery ignition system that didn't work in jungles. So finally, we captured a Japanese Type 100 flamethrower and copied the ignition system, which used a rotating cylinder that contained several blank cartridges. Guess where the Japanese got their ignition system? From Henri Chapal, a naturalized American who designed it and offered to give it to the US government for free before World War II. We turned him down. Trump is our best president because he remains nimble in his thinking even after 74 years. We who support him don't want or need a stupid, arbitrary plan that won't survive its first contact with reality. Not one public health plan on earth survived COVID-19. All had to be radically changed. Only the US was able to truly and successfully mitigate. The idea that Trump is responsible for the pandemic deaths is laughable. We didn't have all the necessary medical equipment. What we didn't have, oh, sorry, we had all the necessary medical equipment. What we didn't have was treatments. And that's because nobody knew what the hell this thing was. I don't blame Fauci for changing his recommendations. What I do blame is you people for politicizing the pandemic and for allowing the protests to spread the infection and for lying about the protests about spreading the infection. You people are out of your minds. Every single thing you're doing is driving away voters. Keep it up, Sonny. Make election night 2020 even more hilarious than election night in 2016. Oh, and put your faith in big tech. They've done a bang up job in stopping Republicans from being elected in the past year.